I think uh, I think this needs to be the theme song for all Bengals fans going forward. I mean, what other awful things can happen to Bengals fans? We start slow, we get rolling, and just like that, in a blink of an eye, it's over. Can't believe what has happened week to week, from last week to this week. Oh my goodness. Not one season-ending injury, but multiple season-ending injuries happening this week, and we're going to talk about it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You know what time it is. It is time to review the NFL Week 11. Man, oh man, did we have some massive, impactful things take place that definitely is going to shake up the remainder of the season. Quarterbacks are gone. Tight ends are gone. Defensive players are gone. Other offensive players are gone. It was a massacre this weekend, an absolute massacre of injuries. And man, oh man, devastating. Absolutely devastating. Without further ado, let's start the show. Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. We are reviewing the NFL Week 11. We're talking about all the good, all the bad, and all the ugliness that just transpired in the past week in football. And man, oh man, have some devastatingly just terrible things taken place over this past weekend. And it started on Thursday and it continued to roll all the way up until Sunday. Thankfully, Monday wasn't too bad. But man, oh man. At least one of us had a good week. At least one of us had a good week. We're going to get into it. And as always, joining me to get into it, I'm Jacob Cutler, one half of the Sports Guys, and he is one of my best friends in the other half of the Sports Guys. He is none other than Mr. Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everything is going well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just getting ready to travel to go visit the family. So excited for the Thanksgiving Day game. So that'll be fun.
I like it. Yeah. And we're going to definitely cover all of that on the picks episode. A little foreshadowing there for all of you coming out on Friday. Yeah. We got some Thanksgiving Day action. We got some Black Friday action. So first time ever. So it's going to be a very interesting week in week 12, but we're talking about week 11. So let's just get right into week 11. Let's quickly remind them how we did last week. Let's put it up on the screen for yourself. Another absolutely dominating week. 10-4, 1-0 on your guaranteed victories, guaranteeing that the Niners not only handle business, but get a massive, huge, statement-wielding victory there at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brock Purdy, perfect passer rating. We're going to get into that, I am sure. And then, for myself, terrible week. Dog crap, doo-doo, horse manure. Horrible, man. 6-8. I will take 1-0 on my guaranteed victory with the Cardiac Cats. Then not the Bengals. Now we're talking the Lions are the Cardiac Cats, having to pull off a massive comeback against the Chicago Bears. I don't know why you do this to me, Detroit. I don't know why you make it so difficult to get a guaranteed victory out of you. Man, Oh man, some late game heroics there. And then finally, our last week's guest, Sergio Oseguera, going 9-5. Want to know on his guaranteed victory, also guaranteeing that the Niners were going to get the job done. Well done to the two of you. Overall for the season, that puts us at, yeah, you are absolutely lighting it up. 107-57 on the year. Yeah. First one to crack 100. Nice job. 107-57 on the year. 9-2 on your guaranteed victories. Miles ahead of where you were last year. Last year at this time, you had 91 correct picked games. This year, 107 through week 11. So great job, my friend. Great job picking games this year. For myself, 96-68. Oddly enough, I'm actually in the exact same spot that I have been for the last 3 years. So I've either been 98-65 or 66, and then I was 95-68. Or 95-60 or 69. So I guess this is just where I live right here. So we'll see what happens as the season shakes down. And then for our guest, 52-38, 3-3 on their guaranteed victories. For myself, on my guaranteed victories, 8-3. Got to give myself a little bit of kudos there. 8-3 on my guaranteed victories, handling business. Both of us handling business when it comes to the guaranteed victories. All right, wipe those off the screen. Let's go. Let's get into it. Hit me with the good from week 11.
There was definitely some good this week for sure. Want to start with Detroit, mounting a huge comeback win at the end. I think it looked like they were out of reach. It did look like Chicago was going to pull out the upset.
Yep.
And Detroit had a heck of a game and a heck of a comeback, and big play by Aiden Hutchinson at the end of the game to force that was a weird play. I don't know what
that was. Some Michigan, Ohio State man-on-man action there.
Yeah. So, kudos to the Bears for putting up a fight.
Yep.
But the Lions were able to, they were able to be the first time that they've 8-2, and I think since the 1960s. So, this could be this is probably the best Lions team that has ever existed, but is definitely the best Lions team that I've ever seen in my entire life. So
yeah, definitely.
Credit to their scary team. Things could be interesting come playoff time. So they look really, really good. And so obviously Dallas continuing to look really good. We'll have to see what happens, but that defense has been playing lights out. Jacksonville turning things around. Jacksonville looked really good against Tennessee to seal a 34-14 victory, to get back on track. So, they're still, deep in that AFC race and could potentially be looking to get the number 1 seed. Yep. So they look really good. And then obviously Buffalo turning things around 32-6, just a complete blowout. Buffalo, just the most consistently inconsistent team for sure, but definitely look good this week. They definitely needed that to continue the race in the AFC. So, and then also Rams sneaking one against Seattle. They came back and they were able to win. That was totally Seattle's game to win, and went bullet at the end. So definitely excited. I was happy to see Jason Myers miss that kick, and that was awesome. And then obviously last but not least, San Francisco, the 49ers are looking great. Brock Purdy, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a perfect passer rating. First time that's happened since for a 49ers quarterback since Joe Montana in 1989, before I was born, before you were born. So credit to them. They came out and they got it done.
What do you think? Is he a star? Is he a star yet, or is he still a good system quarterback?
I don't think he's either yet.
Okay.
I'm not ready to deem him a system quarterback, and I'm not ready to deem him a star yet. I do think that, I think he is definitely ascending, and we'll have to see what happens. It's still early, but I think he has the potential to be a star. What do you think?
That perfect passer rating, that's what you got to do. You got to handle business against the teams you need to handle business against. And the Bucs are one of those teams. Baker Mayfield getting a lot of love during the game. Brock Purdy not really getting shown a lot of love until he started just putting work and just working the Bucs. So, he's ascending. He is definitely on the ascension path to becoming a marquee guy in this game, oddly enough. The good I saw, Dolphins getting a much needed victory, albeit against the Raiders, sending Antonio Pierce to 2-1. The Dolphins needed a much bounce back victory. They needed that badly. So Dolphins getting a huge bounce back victory. Tommy DeVito goes from sleeping on his mama's couch to dominating the Washington Commanders. Good for Tommy DeVito. The Giants handling business, getting a victory, although it's not really going to do much for their season. More of a pride thing at this point. Commanders. Got to figure it out. Sam Howell definitely looks like he can be that guy, but at other times, he definitely does not look like he's that guy. So the Commanders got to either figure it out with coaching, whether that be Bill Belichick coming in next year, being the GM and head coach, giving Ron Rivera another season, bringing in some more pieces, redoing that defense. There's a lot of things that you can do for the Commanders to help them out, hopefully with a new owner. We'll see what happens there. What else do we see? The Cowboys, like you said, continuing to roll. CeeDee Lamb on a historic pace, being one of the best receivers in the NFL. The Jaguars, that was a big one. Getting a massive victory against their divisional opponent, the Tennessee Titans, bouncing back after getting walloped by the San Francisco 49ers a week ago. They got the Niners scored 34, right? Against the Jags. Yeah.
Sounds right there. 43.
Yeah. So, Niners put up 34 points. Jags come right back and put up a 34 burger on the Titans. So that's what you got to do. That's how you got to respond. Calvin Ridley getting in the end zone twice, having his kind of welcome to the NFL season this year game. So the Jags, we'll see what happens. They're one of those flying under the radar teams. You don't really know how good they are until you actually see them playing. And then sometimes they don't look good at all. So against the Titans at home, they definitely looked really good. And then the man, the rookie, the MVP candidate, CJ Stroud, leading the Texans to a massive victory. Now, I say massive. Kyler Murray was balling out. Kyler Murray is back. Kyler Murray is definitely, when healthy, a very good quarterback in the NFL, and definitely is the only chance for the Cardinals to do absolutely anything this season. So I don't think they will basically be able to do much just for how far into the season they are. But Kyler Murray is definitely the only hope that the Cardinals have at any chance of possibly competing at anything. But the Texans, Tank Dell, rookie connection, man, oh man, it's like Jamar Chase and Joey B getting back together. That connection's building. That connection will only grow with time. And the Texans, D'Amico Ryans, that defense, that offense, looking pretty complete right now. I'll be very interested to see how they hold up in the playoffs, if they make the playoffs. Long season. What other good? Yep, but Bills getting the big victory there at home. The Donkeys. The Denver Broncos. Could it possibly be the turnaround of the Denver Broncos? 3 straight victories, getting back to 500, knocking off the Minnesota Vikings, who were coming into that game the hottest team in the NFL. The Denver Donkeys, Sean Payton, Russell Wilson. A lot of season to go, but we'll see what happens. But man, oh man, what a turnaround there in Denver. And then finally, the Eagles getting redemption against the Kansas City Chiefs, thanks to Marquez Valdez-Scantling dropping that ball. Pat, you shouldn't have thrown it a little bit shorter. He should have just caught the pass.
The Eagles are looking like the 2014 Seahawks with all their luck.
The Eagles are the worst 9-1 team I've ever seen. They are not really that good.
Me too. They should have lost maybe 6 of those games.
Yeah.
5 of those games easily.
There are definitely some games that the Eagles should have definitely lost. Now, championship teams, good teams, the teams that maybe possibly their year, find a way to win those games. So I'm not going to knock them for that. But at the same time, yeah, in terms of like a 9-1 team, it's a lot more fluff than I think a lot more bite. So I'm sure there is bite behind it. They can be aggressive. They can turn it on when they need to. But yeah, they're just not really doing anything that's blowing me out of the water. So that makes me think that, oh, you know what? They're going to run right through the playoffs, right back to the Super Bowl. No, they look very beatable. The Lions could easily knock them off. The Niners could easily knock them off. Any one of these NFC teams who are having a good day could easily knock off this Eagle team. So long season to go. Cowboys. Yeah, even the Cowboys, So long season to go. There are a lot of games to be played. Philadelphia, a lot of things to prove, a lot of left on the table. I will say getting a big redemption victory against the Chiefs, I know definitely felt good for them, definitely felt good for their fans. Although Kansas City Chiefs, I'm sure are definitely happy with their Super Bowl over a regular season loss. So I'll say this, the NFC this year, far better than the AFC. I won't say far better, a lot less competitive. I will say that. If you look at the AFC, you have every team 3, 4, 5 losses. It's basically, I'm going to predict that a 10-7 record is going to get you into the playoffs. We'll get you into the wild card just because of how competitive the AFC is. The North or the NFC, I mean, you have the Eagles with 1 loss, you have the Lions with 2, you have the Niners with 3, and then you have basically everybody else. You have the Cowboys with 2, I believe, right? 2 losses on the Cowboys? 3 losses? Yeah. So you have everybody either at 1, 2, or 3 losses there in the NFC at the top, and then everybody else kind of evens out there. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be very competitive heading into the final weeks of the season. We are definitely winding things down. A lot of left to be had, a lot of games to be played, a lot of downs to be had, a lot of touchdowns to be had. So we'll see what happens. Man, what a week. What bad did you see from week 11?
Yeah. I want to start with, unfortunately, Joey getting hurt. That was bad, obviously. Never want to see that. So prayers up to Joey. Hopefully he can, that one sucked. Definitely was hoping that he would, get to the Super Bowl this year and get that redemption against the Chiefs or, whoever they played in the, so, damn, kind of left me speechless for sure. Just like when I saw that report, I messaged you right away and said, what the heck? Like, Joey out for the year. So that was, to start with, Pittsburgh. I mean, they are who we thought they were, but just a bad game against Cleveland and Thompson Robinson. So just a bad game for Pittsburgh. Like I said, they are who we thought they were. Bad game for the Chargers. Staley, you got to go. You're just terrible. Yeah. Just awful. And then obviously, Seattle just blowing a game at the end, missed kick. Unfortunate. So the Jets, I kind of covered that, but they're just awful. They're just awful. They're just a bad team. And then the main thing I wanted to highlight, just the Jets. I don't know what's going on with them, but the main thing I wanted to highlight was the Kansas City receiving corps. Just terrible. I mean, Mahomes was making these plays. I mean, this guy, I'm just gonna say it out there. I know that. I haven't always been the most fond of him just because of I think it's because of all the coverage he gets. This guy's incredible, man. Just incredible. Some of the plays he was making were just the dimes he was throwing. Just like, just to get them in that position multiple times and people turning the ball over, dropping passes. Like he did everything he could, right? I feel like he did. So just even that last play with the, it was like 4th and 20. It was a perfect pass. Yeah. Drops it. Same dude dropped another 4th and 5 pass. Then Travis Kelce fumbled it. Then MVS, just a perfect pass, just
dropped.
Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league by far. I'm just sorry. Like, just from what I'm seeing, it's just this dude is just unbelievable. So, but just the receivers are just so freaking bad on the Chiefs. And you lost Juju, who was actually a good receiver for them last year. So you don't really have anybody reliable. You got a rookie in Rice, and then you got MVS, who's iffy, and Travis is kind of taking a step back so far. I'm not saying he's still even a shell of himself is still the best tight end in the league next to Kittle. But I'm saying he still took a step. He's taken a step back, or something's off with him. So, but yeah, Kansas City, I can't see them winning with that team, with that receiving core. It's just, they're horrible. So,
that receiving core is going to have to definitely step it up. I mean, that game is back and forth, turnovers. Yeah, exactly. Drop passes, just letting your quarterback down. That's basically what a lot of last night was. But yeah, I mean, a lot of some other things was just the Raiders' ineptitude of doing anything on offense, right? You have one massive bomb to Devontae Adams, and then you can't do anything else the rest of the game. So definitely figuring out that offense. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell is the guy. After that game, I'll be honest, he does not seem like it. Multiple chances at game-winning drives, multiple chances at getting them in position for a field goal. Could not get it together, could not complete the passes, did not look good to end the game. So I don't know if the Raiders have their guy just yet, but good news is a lot of guys in this draft definitely can be that guy. So we'll see what happens there. What else do we see? The Titans, DeAndre Hopkins, you need to go to another team, or you should just retire, because
so does Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, you need to go to another team, otherwise retire, because nothing's going to happen there in Tennessee. And then Derrick Henry, I do believe most likely, we'll see, but I can actually see Derrick Henry being on another team to start next season. So we'll see what happens there. The Titans do have a lot of growing to do. It will give Will Levis another year under the belt, hopefully with the first team reps all off season, all preseason, and then moving into next season. So we'll see how that does. But the Titans got to figure it out. Mike Vrabels could very well be gone. The Jets, I mean, what more needs to be said about the Jets that hasn't been said about them already? Tim Boyle now being promoted to the starting quarterback, Zach Wilson being demoted to the third string slot behind Trevor Siemian. So there you go. Take that as you will. We'll see what happens. According to reports, Aaron Rodgers is suspected to start throwing and coming back, start his return next week. So we shall see what happens there. The Jets, man, oh man, yeah, just an absolute dumpster fire when Zach Wilson is just not able to do anything. And then lastly, I mean, I touched on it a little bit, but the Commanders, I mean, what are you? Are you good? Are you bad? You can't be in between. Be good, be bad, or either just get out of the way. Because at least give the Eagles and the Cowboys some competition. Give them something to think about. You start hot and then you fizzle out. Commanders, looking bad. And then, my last, and I'm just going to transition right into ugly, and I'll let you wrap us up with your ugly. But my ugly of the week is, the Chargers, man. I mean, Brandon Staley, I know you touched on him a little bit, but his little outburst there with reporters being like, stop asking me questions, blah, 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 blah. I'm Brandon Staley. I suck as a coach. Yeah, you do. You're terrible. You are horrible, bro. The fact that you are calling the defense is the problem. So Brandon Staley, coaching change needs to happen in Los Angeles in order for Justin Herbert to have any sort of success, because as long as Brandon Staley is there, Justin Herbert will never do anything in his career. And that is just a fact that you can take to the bank. There is no amount of talent, no amount of people, players, faculty, staff that you can put around Justin Herbert. If Brandon Staley is still there, the Chargers will do nothing. My ugly for the week is the Chargers, and just how unexciting and just how so consistently inconsistent that whole franchise is. I don't even want to touch on Joey. I am just devastated, brokenhearted, want to throw up, sick, disgusted, horrified, just utterly disappointed. You're ugly for the week, my friend. Wrap us up.
Injuries. ugly of the week injuries. Joey Talanoa Hufanga ACL tear out for the season. Two critical, obviously Joey's the most critical piece in probably Bengals history, but two critical pieces.
Your piece, Mark Andrews.
There's a light at and Mark Andrews, and then Joey Bosa getting hurt too. So, but I will say there is a light at the end of the tunnel, Jake, to provide you with some, optimism. Joe Burrow will win a Super Bowl. That's for damn sure. So he's very young. He's got it. He'll come back better than ever. Joe Burrow is going to get you a Super Bowl. So
I like it. Yeah, it definitely could be a blessing in disguise. Plenty of rest. The defense is playing horribly. So let's reset, restack, move forward, retool the offensive line a little bit. Just tighten it up. See what we can do about Boyd and Higgins. Hopefully we can keep Higgins. Boyd, he is an OG. He has done his time. He has done his graces. If he does need to walk, he needs to walk. But we'll see what happens. We may get a higher draft pick. I'll take it. It's on to Jake Browning, Washington Husky alum. Oh, man. Oh, man. That'll do it. That will do it for this edition of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. We are done with week 11. We are on to week 12. We are on to our Thanksgiving Day games. And man, oh man, we're just rolling along. Just 12 weeks ago, we were on to week 1. Now we're on to week 12. I mean, time is moving by fast. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Yeah, just hopefully everybody has a good Thanksgiving, and hopefully they enjoy the games. I know I will. And obviously, I hope that this week is injury-free. We don't need to see anything more catastrophic injuries. We're getting closer to the end of the season, so we want everybody to be as healthy as possible because we want the playoffs to be interesting. So don't ever want to see a team lose their franchise quarterback for the rest of the year. So that's one thing I'm hoping that everybody can stay healthy and safe this week.
I like it. Yeah. For all of you out there, have a great and safe Thanksgiving. If you're going anywhere, be safe, be smart. Don't do anything stupid. If you're staying home, have plenty of food, enjoy the television, enjoy the football games, the basketball games, everything in between. Yeah. Brandon and I, we're grateful for all of you out there taking the time for watching us, checking us out, whether you're a new viewer, returning viewer, everything in between. We're definitely grateful that we have you. We're keeping you around. You're checking us out. We're hoping to be doing this for a long, long time. That's going to do it for this edition of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. He is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan, and I am Jake McCullough. And together, we make up the Sports Guys. And until week 12, until our picks episode, Brandon and Jake, we're out.